City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers, Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation. Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, youth councillors will now have a seat at the council table with access granted at last night's council meeting. The Regional Council is seeking community feedback for their Living with Risk policy, and sport, fun and community are the aims of the Kotu Community Day on Sunday. But first, police are seeking public assistance to locate 44-year-old Tony Ashley Gorrie in relation to prolific fraud offending against backpackers and accommodation providers nationwide. He's been identified as the suspect for recent offending in the Taupo and Rotorua areas, and there is a warrant for his arrest. He's described as a white European man, 185 centimetres tall and medium build, and is transient and known to travel large distances, so the appeal extends across New Zealand. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact local police. Youth councillors will now have a seat at the council table with access granted at last night's monthly meeting of the full council.
We approved and were fully supportive of a young councillor from our youth council sitting at the council table, participating in council decisions but not able to vote. So there will always be at every council meeting now the opportunity for a youth perspective to come in from the youth council, and they'll learn about how decisions are made. So that's a real first for this council too.
And you can see the Mayor's full meeting update on rdc.govt.nz. The Bay of Plenty Regional Council is seeking feedback from the community to help set a broad regional policy for managing the risk of natural disasters. Regional Planner Martin Butler says the policy will guide district and city plan rules.
We're trying to get in ahead of these disasters and get our planning in place so that people aren't exposed to those sorts of hazards when they happen, and it's for that reason that we're holding these community sessions. We're inviting people to come and tell us what level of risk that they can cope with in those situations, and that will in turn feed into the planning that the district council does, and that affects where people live and where they carry out their jobs and so on.
The Living with Risk community session is on Wednesday, and you can visit boprc.govt.nz for more information. And in sport tonight, basketball, skateball and scooter competition is on this Sunday at the Kotu Community Day at Karinga Park. Organiser Mariah Pomana says sport, fun and community are the aims of the day.
The Rotorua Basketball Association have come on board. Last time we did it, it wasn't as cool, but because they're doing it, they've got all the gears, they're ready, set, go. It's 3-on-3 street ball. I love street ball because it's a bit rough. And there's an Opens division, they can win a cash prize of $100, and an under 12s division, and they win a cash prize of $50. So all the under 12-year-olds are pretty excited. You only need 3 in your team. You've got to have a girl in your team though, so it's fair. Yeah, so that's the street ball competition.
The Kotu Community Day kicks off at 11 a.m. and if you want to take part in the Kotu Has Talent show, you need to be at the park at 9:30 a.m. to register. That sounds like a good one. To your weather now, and the forecast for tonight is for continuing fine weather, so that's good news at the beginning of the weekend. Light winds and an overnight low of 8. And a reminder that every Friday you can plan your weekend activities with help from our weekend weather roundup with Met Service, and that's straight after City News. For program listings and other info or to upload images, check out our website, that's tvrotorua.co.nz, and remember to check out our Facebook page, of course, TV Rotorua. Still to come in tonight's program, also tonight we find out about the new Treasure Rotorua campaign. We meet Marketing Manager Diane Curtis and find out about new initiatives at Rainbow Springs. And we have an interview with local NASCAR driver Hayden Pedersen, recorded last week before leaving home for the States and another racing season.
Well, this Sunday the residents of Rotorua are coming together to celebrate their community at Karinga Park, but it's also to kick off the Safe as Houses project, and to explain more we're going to hear from Linda Johnson, who is the RDC Community Safety Officer, and also from Neighbourhood Support Bruce Quigley. Hi Linda and Bruce, thanks for joining us today. Now obviously Treasure Rotorua, there's been a huge amount of work being put into this project, but where did the initial idea come from?
It actually came from the community of Kotu. They came to us, specifically Neighbourhood Support initially, wanting to make their suburb a more safer and caring place. As a result of that, they established Neighbourhood Support groups, and then when we went back to Treasure Rotorua, we looked at further possibilities of what we could do, and one of them was Safe as Houses.
Now this project starts on Monday, Linda, but what sort of things are you going to be doing within the Kotu area itself?
Okay, so we have been working collaboratively with the steering group partners and with members, representatives of the Kotu community. So we've been putting some work into the planning of this, and one of the key aims was to involve as much of the community groups and persons as possible. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be visiting up to 500 households and offering them some information and advice regarding injury prevention, personal and property protection, around joining neighbourhood support groups and the benefits of, and also asking questions around emergency preparedness, and we'll be offering many free resources and additional spot prizes, etc. for participation.
Now obviously you can't do this on your own, there has to be other organisations here in town involved, so who's helping you guys out?
Oh, absolutely, but this is an ACC funded project, so yeah, all kudos to ACC who have seen the benefits in working alongside communities on the injury prevention. And some of the key aims is to reduce slips, trips and falls, to increase fire safety, and to increase community participation and personal and property safety. So the partners that are going to be involved in the house-to-house visits are Neighbourhood Support, ACC, Police, Civil Defence, and who else we got? The Fire Service.
So those organisations all in the 1 week are going to be going around knocking on doors throughout the whole area?
There'll be teams of up to 10 working street by street, and so anybody in Kotu community expect to knock on the door, and for those that aren't home, we'll be leaving a While You Were Out card, and there's an opportunity to contact the number on that card so that nobody misses out in actually receiving some of this free advice and some of these resources.
Now obviously this is a massive team event, but there's also a community day on Sunday, so tell us a bit about that, Linda.
Okay, so we were very fortunate in the early stages of development of this project. We talked to the representatives of the Kotu community and said, is there anything else, any other event or activity planned in Kotu that we may be able to link with and launch our new safety project? So this has come together as a community fun day event and the launch of Te Pō Kapua. So it happens on Sunday, 9th March at Karinga Park, and we're working with groups such as the Waikiri Club, Iramata Tau, the Youth Leadership Group, and also working with Marae and working with free parking. So existing community groups and individuals that live in the Kotu community, we're all coming together with the steering group partners of Treasure Rotorua to have a fun day with lots of activities, lots of things for whānau to come along and participate and enjoy, and lots of information about injury prevention and crime prevention. So the emergency services will all be there, all to have some interactive, fun information sharing activities.
This must be really satisfying for you, Bruce, because we've got local government organisations, we've got community groups all coming together, as well as Neighbourhood Support, all coming together to launch basically an awesome event and week for the community. So for you, Bruce, that must be quite satisfying, knowing that these things are happening.
Yes, well, Neighbourhood Support's been part of Treasure Rotorua for a great number of years now, and we build on that to ensure the agencies that are involved in that make Rotorua a safer, more caring place. And it's a great thing that the agencies can work together along with the community, and the community have really bought into this, and we're very pleased with it. It's a great outcome.
It is fantastic for the community. Linda, Bruce, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
there we are, a very famous waterfall behind me, and just a magnificent place indeed on such a beautiful day. I'm joined now by Diane Curtis, and she's a rather special lady to this place. Kia ora, Diane.
Kia ora.
Can you tell us what your role is here?
My title is Mice Market Sales Manager for Ngāi Tahu Tourism, Central North Island. So that's Rainbow Springs, the Agrodome, and Hooker Falls Jet in Taupo.
Wow, that is a lot. And the MICE is an acronym for what? Because we're not talking about little cute furry things, are we?
Another mouse. MICE stands for Meetings, Incentives, Conferences and Events. So it's groups, basically.
And so, tell me what the general aim of what you do is.
Okay, well it's a new position for Ngāi Tahu, and it's really to enhance the very successful business that they have already. The core business for Rainbow and Agrodome is leisure guests visiting, a unique location. But there is an opportunity for both of those places to actually have the meetings, incentives and conference people visiting them as a group.
I was just going to say, it's actually a pretty easy sell, isn't it?
Oh, well, I think so. It is an easy sell, but because we haven't been known in those markets for many years, 20 years ago, perhaps it was different. But the core business is so successful in both locations here in Rotorua that the groups have been sort of left aside, so to speak, and there hasn't been anyone specialising in them. But now, that's my job.
That's your job?
Yes, and it's a privilege to actually have the opportunity, to be honest.
And you come with a very extensive history. You've done a lot of international work. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, actually, I started in my career in hospitality in what is now the distinction in Rotorua. It was the Sheraton Hotel back in those days, and we had very big banquet facilities, and we used to do a lot of conferences there and some really innovative and creative themed events on-site and off-site. So that was my passion, to be honest. And from that I went to Fiji and was the Director of Convention Services in Fiji for 3 hotels, and the same role really, to develop the product, which is develop the themes and the events and entice people to come to that location. And then from there I moved to Malaysia, and I was broadened the role into Director of Sales and Marketing. So I needed to have the groups but also the leisure market, and stayed with that title. Went to Hanoi for another 2 years, then to China in Sanya for 2 years in the same role, and my last 5 years have been in Chiang Mai in the north of Thailand.
Wow, so you are the lady for this job, aren't you? So what is different about selling somewhere in Asia? Obviously there are unique features everywhere, but what are the real things that you're driving about New Zealand, and about in particular the locations that you're in charge of, the Agrodome, the Hooker Jet, this beautiful place, Rainbow Ferry Springs?
I think each of them has they are unique in themselves. They don't compete with each other, because they offer, completely different. I mean, this is wildlife park and beautiful scenery, and of course we have our beloved kiwi here, so that's something very special to us. And at Agrodome it's a more agricultural experience, but they do also have fruit orchards, so we're working on some quite unique festivals in and around the harvest of those fruit, because we think that's an opportunity as well. So, yeah.
What are the big challenges in your job? Are there any?
Are there any big challenges? Well, I've only been here for a month.
So I suppose it's getting to know everybody, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's re-establishing the contact. I'm quite impatient to have events coming here very quickly. But we are still a business in transition, so I'm new. The concept of having this position is new, so I have to be a little bit patient to develop that product, so it's unique and attractive, and that's what I'm working on now. But it's very exciting doing that, I have to say.
Oh, well, I have to say that you are obviously the lady for the job. You're exciting just in yourself and your experience that you've had. So may I wish you all the best from myself and everybody at TV Rotorua. We look forward to coming out and following your progress.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you very much for the support, and it's going to be a great job to work at, and I'm very privileged to have it. So, yeah.
Kia ora.
Thank you. Kia ora.
Well, today I've got a very special guest with me. He is the second ever New Zealand NASCAR race driver and also the youngest that we've ever produced in our country. And I'd like to welcome Hayden Peterson to the show. Thanks for joining us today, Hayden. Now, obviously to be the second NASCAR race driver to come from New Zealand, that's a pretty good title to have.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're the only recent NASCAR driver. He was back in 1960, around there. But yeah, he sadly passed away in a car accident. So yeah, we're trying to just be the next NASCAR and make it to the Sprint Cup and be a champion. So,
for our viewers back home, what is NASCAR? Because I've seen Days of Thunder and Tom Cruise racing around the track. Is that NASCAR in itself?
Yeah, it is. It's it's a bit movie orientated and a bit changed, but no, it's awesome. It's just the oval circuits, and everyone thinks all you have to do is sit in the car, turn the wheel, and away you go. But it's a lot harder than that. Like, I go to the gym every day, train, do mental preparation and stuff like that, and it's a lot of work. And we go into the car, and the car's 145 degrees Fahrenheit, so 70 degrees around there Celsius. Wow. And it's just boiling, and you have to stay concentrated for 2 hours. So it definitely is a good sport.
Yeah, now the gym thing is a bit of a gimmick, because I've seen the size of your guns, and they're pretty big folks at home. But talk about a little bit about that mental preparation.
Yeah, so with my trainer, I've been doing like dropping of the ruler and stuff like that, footwork, and just trying to stay focused for a long time, because that's what it's all about. As soon as you lose your focus, you're just into the wall, or you're into another car, or you're spinning out, and teams aren't going to be signing you a deal if that's what you're doing every race. So.
I'd imagine there'd be a lot of money tied up in this sort of racing.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's such a hard sport to get into just because of the money factor. So at the moment we're doing fundraising stuff to help out, and my parents don't have a lot of money, so we're all working together just to raise money to get into it.
Now, you're only 19. Now, that to me, that's a huge feat for you to even get into this sort of racing. But where did it all start for you?
So it started for me when I was 13 in go-karts. I did that for 2 years, and then moved into, I won a Formula First scholarship with Speed Sport. Then we did the V8 touring cars in 2012, and was the youngest in there by 10 years.
Wow.
And finished up third in the series, which was a pretty good achievement in itself. And then, yeah, I was looking on the internet one day, and I found a scholarship team in America. And yeah, 1,600 other people applied, and I was selected as one of the 50 to go over to America and test. Well, all of them were in America already, apart from myself.
Were those costs covered for you?
No, I had to fund that, so it ended up costing me about $9,000 to do it. And yeah, once I did that, I was named the top driver out of the 50, and was awarded the top place in the scholarship. So I was able to sign with Bill McAnally Racing for 2013, and yeah, it's all gone from there. It's all progressed pretty quick.
So have you signed up last year? This is your second year racing?
Yeah, so it's my second year racing. As I said, we're with Bill McAnally Racing, but I don't know, we had a couple of issues. We had a lot of technical issues. We had 5 DNFs at the end of the season. I mean, it really hurt us. We were sitting second, only a couple of points off the lead for most of the series, and then 5 rounds ago, it was just DNF, and we ended up 4th in the series, which really hurt us. And still a good achievement, especially being for my first of the season, and a lot of these guys have been over there since they've been racing NASCAR oval circuit since they were little kids, and most of them are now sort of 20, 25, and they've got a lot of experience. So to come out and beat them was still a pretty good achievement.
And if the average age is 24, 25, you're, what, 5, 6 years younger than them?
Yeah, there is a few guys. The kid that actually won the series was 17, so a little bit younger than me. But he had been doing it since he was 3 years old, and he's an amazing driver. So Yeah, we're one of the youngest, and yeah, like I say, we're only from New Zealand, so it's a far way away from America, and we don't have the oval track circuits over here, so I didn't have any experience, so it was definitely a learning curve for me.
Now, by the time this goes to air, because you're off to the States very soon, so you won't get to see this, but the racing season obviously about to start soon?
It starts in April, but we're going over in end of this month, this Friday actually, and yeah, we're doing that just to get sorted. We have to get a house and all of that stuff all sorted out, meet my team, and yeah, it's all go from there. So, but as soon as I know it, we'll be over and racing and in a seat, and it's been so long. It's been about 6 months now, and I just can't wait. I'm so itching to get back in the car.
So when you say we are going over, have you got a family?
Well, me and my partner are going over, and yeah, it's just my support crew. It's a team effort, to be honest. You can't do it by yourself. You have media people, you have sponsorship people that are helping you out. I got Ron Dixon, who's Scott Dixon's dad, giving me a lot of contacts and helping me out a bunch, and giving me contacts with a lot of top teams and stuff like that. So no, it definitely is a team sport, because yeah, without them I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, we wish you best of luck, Hayden, and hopefully we can catch up with you when you come back, because I'd like to find out how you got on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And certainly a great future ahead for Hayden Pedersen, and we wish him all the very best for his NASCAR season. And if you'd like to support Hayden, find him on Facebook, Hayden Pedersen Racing. And if you'd like to see our show again, visit our website, rotorua.co.nz. And to call the channel and talk to one of our team, ring 07 3488 984. Thanks for watching and having us at your place for Monday.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers, Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.